And please do let me know if my screen is visible. Is it
Yeah,
visible?
screen visible. Visible.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. Before we start, do we all know what are how to attempt the questions? Yes, no, maybe. Yes, seems like everyone knows it, but still, just to be at the safer side and just to so that everyone knows, read the last line first. Okay, the first rule is read the last line first. Whenever the question is of 3 or 4 liners, okay, read the last line first so that you will be able to understand the question. Okay, and then question. Second is slow down. Understanding the question is very important. Slow down. And third one is keywords. Pick up the keywords and use the elimination technique. Okay. Out of 7-step formulas, these are the 3, 4 rules which I have told you. Okay. Just let's stick to it and then solve the questions. Okay. All right. So who can take the volunteer to solve the question? Do we have any volunteer? Ghulam Abbas? Mr. Ghulam Abbas, are you there? I'm just picking people randomly. Huh? Hello?
Yes, I'm there. I'm just having my dinner. So I'll be able to join later.
Okay, later. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Have a nice dinner. Imran. Imran, are you there?
Okay. Mm.
Yeah,
Hello?
please. Yes, Imran, please
Yes.
go.
What is wrong with this approach? A project manager is leading a complex infrastructure project. During execution, a risk that was identified in risk register and had an approved response plan materialized. The approved response involves engaging a backup vendor. However, the firm noticed that engaging the backup vendor now would delay the project by 2 weeks. The PM decided to try a different approach, n- not in the risk register to avoid the delay. The risk register. What's wrong in this with this approach? Nothing. Option A. Nothing. PM should always look for a better solution than what was originally planned. Option B. The PM should have updated the risk register first before trying the new approach. The PM is bypassing the approved risk response, which required a change request. Im- Improvising without governance approval exposed the project to unmanaged secondary risk. The PM should have escalated to the sponsor before making any decision on risk response. So option D I will eliminate as it is escalated directly to sponsor. So it is the last option.
Mhm.
Uh, Option A, nothing. PM should always look for better solution that what was originally planned. That also I will eliminate. A.
Mhm.
The PM should have updated the risk register first before trying the new approach. This looking good for me. The PM is bypassing the approved risk response, which requires a change request. Uh, First, every risk is coming, we have to register first in the risk register. So I will go with option B.
Option B, you are saying?
Yes,
Okay, and why is that so?
because it first every risk is come, so we have to put first in the risk register.
Okay.
And one keyword is first is making secondary risk. The option C is also I'm now confusing in this because there is a secondary risk,
Mm-hmm.
approved risk which require a change request. Improvising without governance approval a secondary risk. Secondary risk also can come, but I will stick to the option B.
Okay, what does the second line says? The approved response involves
Involves engaging a backup vendor.
a backup vendor. However, the PM notices that engaging the backup vendor now
Vendor
would delay the project.
delay the project
Yes, it would delay the project by 2 weeks. So
two
now the
weeks.
PM decides to try a
Mm,
different approach, not to in the risk register to avoid the delay.
To avoid delay.
So he's avoiding that delay, not to
Mm,
update that in the risk register.
Yes.
So
So
it says what is wrong with this approach. You got the problem statement?
yes, yes. He's avoiding actually to update the register because he's not updating the risk
Mm-hmm.
register.
Yes.
Engage. He's only notice this engaging or delay. The VM decide to try a different approach, not in the risk register to avoid the delay.
Mm-hmm. So
Then
your
in this case, this option A will be coming.
option A, which means he's not
Yes.
doing anything wrong.
Yes, he can think about it because he is not updating actually.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's ask someone else as well. Right?
Mhm.
Let's take someone else's opinion. Hamad, Hamad Aslam, are you there?
Yes, hi.
Yeah, hi.
I'm here.
Hello, Mohammed. Yeah, what is why option B? You selected option B. Why is that so?
I didn't select any option yet. I just dialed in and I'm still reading the question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I said Hamad Aslam. You are Mohammed Aslam, huh?
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Sorry for the confusion.
No
Hamad,
problem.
Hamad Aslam. Why did you select option B?
Ye- because for the if we are going to do a different approach, we have to update the in the risk register first before
Yes,
applying a new approach.
yes.
And for updating the risk register, did not we does not require a change request. That's
Hmm.
why option B will be the answer.
Okay, all right. And the people who have opted for option C, okay, why is that so? Minam, why is option C? Why do
So
you
I was
think?
thinking
Hmm.
that for option C, where it mentions that you have to, where is it, get a change request because the solution that the PM is putting forward, it hasn't been approved. So he's just kind of not making it up, but it's a solution that no one has ever heard of.
Hmm.
So it needs to be kind of looked over by the team or even the sponsor. Like no one's really approved the change that or the solution he's making. So I'm thinking it's C because there could be
Absolutely.
other risks. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. And the confusion here is why the change request is needed. It is not, this change request is not needed to update this risk register. It is to deviating the plan from 2 weeks,
Yeah.
right? This one is to deviating the plan. So an approved risk response plan is a formal project document. Okay, if you are deviating from that, then of course a change request is needed. Okay, clear everyone? Anyone has any question on this question? So correct option is, the answer is C. Okay, Imran, is this clear now?
Yes, 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 clear.
Perfect, wonderful. Okay, So
PM
the
is 5% risk.
so here is the justification. An approved risk response plan is a formal project document. As I said, deviating from it requires a change request because you are changing the plan now, right? And that requires the change request through the CCB. The PM cannot unilaterally substitute a different approach because improvised responses may introduce secondary risks, okay, that have not been analyzed. So he is deviating from the plan, but he is not actually seeing the secondary risk which may occur. Okay. Governance exists precisely for these two moments. For these moments, the 2 week delay should be weighed through proper analysis, not avoided by improvisation. Okay. Yes, Surosh.
Yeah, just want to, I got your point. Just want to ask, just want to confirm basically
Yes.
that in order to update the risk register, we need change request, right?
No,
Not
we
only
don't.
for
No.
so
No,
here we are updating the risk register, right?
yes.
So
See,
so
yes, please go ahead first.
sorry, if we are updating the risk register in this case, so we don't require change request. Is
Correct,
this the case?
correct. Then why C?
Then why C? Yes,
Then why
exactly. Why
C?
is this
Okay.
exactly?
So first of all, the risk register is a living document. Okay.
Okay.
Same as the stakeholder register.
Yes.
Okay. What does that living document mean? That you can change it at any point in time during the project.
Okay.
Okay. And for this, you do not need any change request.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We are selecting option C because we not only we are updating the stakeholder register risk register, we are also deviating from the plan. If you look
Okay.
at the option, we are deviating from the plan. What was the approved response involving engaging the backup vendor? And now the project manager, he is not going with that backup vendor.
Okay.
He is changing the plan now. And to change the plan,
Oh,
we do need the change request.
okay. Got that point. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any further question from anyone?
Yeah, Mohit, Samir here. So if we are going to only go with the same plan like the backup with the backup vendor,
Hmm.
so it's not going to update. He's not
Absolutely.
going to go for the change request then,
Yes,
right?
yes, absolutely, yes.
So if there is a change in plan, so always there will be a change request required.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because you are deviating from that, no? So whatever you had decided, so you need a
Mhm.
change request for that.
Okay, great. Thank
Okay?
you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, now the next question, number 22. Samir, can you please do the honor?
Yes. Using EMB analysis, which two risks should be prioritized? A project has five identified risks. Risk A probability 0.8, uh, impact $10,000. Risk B probability 0.1, impact $500,000. Probability 0.5, impact $20,000. Risk D 0.9, 5,000. Risk E, zero point 0.3, 80,000. The PM has budget only for two risk response. Using AMB, which two risks should be prioritized? So we are going to uh, multiply probability with the impact.
Wonderful.
And yeah. So for first one, it's going to be 8,000. 8,000.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
I will just write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So first one is going to be 8,000. Second one is going to be 50,000. Third one is going to be 10,000.
Okay.
Fourth
10,000.
one,
Okay. Hmm.
yeah, 0.5. Yeah,
Yeah.
and 0.9, 500 times 9, 4,500,
Mm-hmm.
and 0.3, 8,000 times 3, so 24,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the options are risk A high and risk D, highest probability. So for risk A, B, C, D, E. So risk A, 8,000, 4,500 EMB.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. And so I think so it's not going to be A because we have higher than this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, risk B, 50,000 EMB, and risk E, 24,000
Yeah.
EMB, highest
Yeah.
EMB. So maybe I can go with this, but let me see the risk B, 50,000, and risk C, 10,000, highest EMB, highest impact and medium probability. Risk A, 8,000, and risk B, 50,000 EMB, highest probability and highest impact. I think so we can go with risk option B because we will see the highest EMB which one be whichever will be coming.
Yes, wonderful. So option A, B is the right one because it has the highest EMV. If B 50,000 and E
Mhm.
for 24,000. Okay, very
So
easy.
yeah, easy. But like if I would, are we allowed to use the calculators? Like I did it orally. Um,
Yeah, you did it wonderfully. I would say, I mean, there is no need to use the calculator though. The questions will be very easy. I mean, the way
mhm,
it is, the calculations would be very easy. But if in
mhm,
case someone has any problem calculating it the way you did it, if someone
mhm.
cannot do it, the calculator available would be there,
Okay.
on the in the interface of the questions.
In the
So
interface. Okay.
yes, so that is going to be there. And once you go for the exam, so it will be like 7 minutes of tutorial will be there, and that
Okay. Okay.
7 minutes of
Well,
time will not be included in your actual time. Okay,
okay. Okay.
so in that you will be taught how, I mean, how can you use the entire interface, and then
Mhm.
the calculator and all.
Okay.
So don't be worried about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So I see two hands raised. Antarpreet, yes, please.
I'm Mohit. So I just
Hello.
want to confirm that, like whenever we have this risk and probability things in the question, so we
Yeah.
just need to check that, okay, EMV value, that, like expected monetary value, if that one is the highest, because I see that there is a low probability with the high impact of this and this, we just need to go with EMV, right?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So whatever the highest ones, you're gonna pick
Hmm.
that up. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hmm.
Yeah. Vikram.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, as it is said that whichever is the highest one, we
Mm-hmm.
are selecting it for the EMV values. But
Yes.
means definitely at option D, like 8,000 and 5,000, because high probability, highest impact.
Yeah.
So if normally that is, I got tricked by that one. But
Mm-hmm.
in which will be the term here? At least you have given that using EME analysis, which
Mm-hmm.
two risks should be prioritized. But
Mm-hmm.
if what would be the term which they might use? So wherein
Least.
where the answer might be high probability and high impact.
Least. High probability and high impact, no.
No,
So
no, I'm
if
not
you,
talking of this question. I'm
uh-huh.
saying which term they might use
Hmm.
while setting the question, same question,
Hmm.
wherein this D will be the answer. So what would be the term they will be using?
D, ideally, D cannot be the answer at any point in time and in any situation, because if you
Okay,
see, it has the lowest which value, which is 8,000,
exactly.
right? And with 50,000, it cannot be the answer in any given situation.
Okay, got it.
Either it should be the least one or the highest one. And
Okay,
here we are going with the highest ones, the
okay, okay.
first two highest ones.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Anyone has any other question? I'm going very slow so that people they understand it. Okay, so the correct answer is B. All right. Question number 23. Anyone who wants to solve it? Any volunteer? Faraz? Faraz VP Wala? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, please.
The Scrum team has completed Sprint 3. During Sprint retrospective, the team identifies that they consistently overestimate velocity and fail to complete all sprint goals. The product owner wants to add more stories to Sprint 4 to catch up. What should the Scrum Master do? Option A, uh, adding more stories will motivate the team to work harder and catch up on backlog. Disagree, the vast velocity data should be used to set a realistic sprint goal. Adding more stories will continue the pattern of incomplete spirits and reduce team trust. I will park
Sprints.
this one.
Sprints, not spirits.
Sorry, spirit. Sorry. Yeah, I'm watching it on my mobile,
No
so
worries,
sorry,
no worries, no
it's
worries.
not
Just
clear.
continue.
Yeah. Anyway, the option B, option A, I will disregard. Option B, I will park it here.
Mm-hmm.
And C, agree. The product owner has the right to determine what goes in the sprint backlog. No, I will disregard that as
Mm-hmm.
well. And option D is this: the team should reduce their velocity estimate by 50% until they demonstrate improvement. No. B is the correct option here. That past velocity data should be used to set a realistic spirit goal. This is
Yes,
the closest, most accurate option.
yes. Wonderful, wonderful. You did it wonderfully. I mean, you went to all the options and then eliminated one by one. Why exacted? Hamad, please don't write it. And you justified it wonderfully. Yeah, thank you so much, Faraz.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you very
nice,
much.
very nice. Okay, any confusion, guys, on this question from anyone? Or you understood this? So the correct answer is option B. Okay, question number 24. Who solves it? Let me just see. Someone is, yes, Awais.
Mohit, if we can also read the just the answer, just to
Justification?
reiterate what, yeah, justifications. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Why not? Okay. So, as what was the problem in this question? The problem statement was the product owner wants to add more stories into it, in the next sprint, which is sprint 4. However, the team identifies that they are consistently overestimating the velocity. Okay, and they are not able to meet the sprint goals. So, yes, Awais, I'll read the explanation. Just a moment, please. So, what does it say? Of course, which is absolutely not correct, right? If the product owner keeps on adding the user stories and the team is still not able to meet the sprint goal, so what should you do as a project manager or the scrum master? So you should first of all set the realistic goal for the team, or team has to set the realistic goal for themselves, right? So that adding more user stories, of course, this will not solve the problem. Even if you keep on adding it, you will anyways ending up meeting your sprint goals. So that is why PMI agile sprint planning should be actual on velocity from previous sprints, not on the aspirational target, what the product owner is doing right now in this situation. Adding more stories to catch up ignores the root cause of it, right? And perpetuates the same failure pattern. Incomplete sprint, damage team morale, predictability, and stakeholder trust. The correct fix is retrospective, root cause analysis, realistic planning. Because of course you are going to retrospect that and then find out the reason of it. And the reason was you had not estimated the user stories realistically. The product owner manages the backlog priority, but the team, they are the ones who commit to what they can deliver and how they can deliver. Okay.
Rohit, similarly, can we go through the explanation for question 22?
You want to go through the explanation? So we had gone through it. Like you would be like the other Faraz actually he did. Risk is probability into impact. So whatever the highest one you will go through, you will select that. Okay. So it is that calculation if you can see.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, OS, you have your hand raised. OS,
Yes, Mohit. Actually, I
hi.
want to solve the next question.
Okay, please do that. Please do
Yeah.
the honor.
Okay. Okay. So, what approach should the PM recommend? Okay. So the statement is a project manager is working on a project for a client who wants fixed scope and fixed budget, predictive. Okay. But the technical solution involves emerging technology where requirements are likely to evolve. The client insists on a waterfall contract. What approach should the PM recommend? So in the scenario, we have two things like the client is asking for a predictive, but the technical team they thinks that the technology can evolve and they would prefer like the iterative or agile project approach.
Yeah.
So what approach should the PM recommend? Now the options are uh, accept the waterfall contract. The client is always right, and the PM should manage scope change request formally. Uh, okay, this option seems correct, but the client is always right. This is making it a bit like strict one.
So
So I
you
will
want to,
leave it for a while.
okay.
Recommend a hybrid approach, use predictive for governance, budget, and milestones, but agile delivery for the technical work within sprint. Structure the contract accordingly. Okay, this one is possible. I believe this one is a good one rather than the first one. It covers all the aspects.
So you want to
Uh,
eliminate A or you want to still keep it?
I will eliminate A when I see B.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, insist on a fully agile contract, fixed scope with emerging technology always lead to project failure. No, a fixed scope do not lead always to failure. So it is not true anyway. So I will eliminate this one also. And D, refuse the project. This is also not the correct answer. So my answer is B.
Wonderful, yes. Wonderful, always. You've
Thank you.
done it, explained each and every option and went through it and then selected the right choice. Very nice. So the correct answer
Thank you.
is B, yes, because one party is asking for the predictive and the other one is for going for agile. So of course, I mean, you need to find out a way wherein the project can be delivered, right? So it can be through the hybrid approach. So PMS hybrid approach use predictive for what the fixed and known. Okay. So which is governance, budget reporting, contractual milestones. Use agile, what is evolving? And this is what the question is asking, which is technical delivery, sprint-based work. This honors the client's governance needs while managing technical uncertainty. Okay. A pure waterfall with emerging technology guaranteed scope creep and rework. Okay. Uh, C is too rigid and D is irresponsible. Like West, you just mentioned that refuse the project. Of course, that is not the correct one, and insist on going the fully agile. That is too rigid because you are insisting. So this is also a negative word. Hybrid is precisely designed for this scenario. Yes, great. Uh,
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, question number 25, and this is going to be our last question for today. Okay, uh, anyone who Khan, Osama?
Yes, can I?
Yes, absolutely. Please do the honor.
Thank you, sir.
You made my work easy. I had to choose. Yes, you are muted. Khan sir, you are
Yes.
muted. Yes.
Yes, sir. An agile team's velocity has dropped 35% over the last 3 sprints. The team says the requirement keep changing mid-sprint. The product owner says the team is too slow. The scrum master says the definition of done is unclear. Sprint reviews show working software, but stakeholders say it's not what they wanted. What is the primary root cause? The team technical skills are insufficient for complexity of the product. The product owner is failing to manage the backlog and communicate requirement clearly before the sprint. The definition of done is unclear, leading the rework and the stakeholder dissatisfaction. Requirements are changing mid-sprinted because the product backlog refinement process is inadequate. User stories are not sufficiently refined before being brought to sprint planning. So we are here to find the root cause, and as mentioned that 35% has dropped the velocity, the speed of the completion of the work from last 3 sprints has been dropped 35%. The team says requirement keeps on changing. That means there is something, unclear. That product owner is complaining the team is too slow, and the scrum master is also saying the definition of done, the readiness is unclear. Sprint review show working software, but stakeholders say it's not what they wanted. Okay. What is the root cause? Team's technical skills are insufficient for the complexity. I am just holding this option, boss.
Okay.
Okay. Not rejecting, holding first one.
Oh, sorry. Up. Okay, but you should still justify. Okay.
Yeah. The product owner is failing to manage the backlog and communicate the requirement clearly before the sprint planning. This I am removing. The reason of removing is that there is nothing mentioned regarding this one because the product owner is only telling that the team is slow.
Okay. But he keeps on changing the requirements.
The team says, okay. The definition of done is unclear, leading to this is what the Scrum Master is saying. Quotes the point number C. I will keep this one on hold. Requirement are changing mid sprint because the product backlog refinement process is inadequate. User stories are not. I'll rather go with D, boss. It's the closest to what I think the answer should be.
And why?
The reason is why the reason for why is requirements are changing mid of the sprint, and there must be some issues in the product backlog refinement, which
What
is
is
not adequate.
product backlog refinement process?
It's through, as the Scrum Master so told, definition of ready. Definition
How
of ready is
how does it relate to definition of ready?
okay, boss. If definition of ready, definition of done is clear,
Mm-hmm.
it goes to product increment.
Okay.
If you pass it, everything is okay. It goes to product increment.
Mm-hmm.
If it fails, it goes to product backlog.
Correct. Okay.
So I think due to that one, I think it's in the refinement process.
No, but what is refinement process? What is product backlog refinement process? And when do we have it?
I need an explanation, boss.
No problem.
Maybe I have
Sure.
not killed.
Sure. No problem.
Sorry.
No problem. There's nothing to be sorry about. No worries. Yes, for us. You have a question.
Yes, sir. I want to answer this one.
Yes, please.
Actually, the problem is uh, they are changing in the mid of the sprint,
Yeah.
but it should be in the retrospective review and the retrospective.
Okay.
So the answer should be D, because it is inappropriate and inadequate to change mid of the sprint anything, change the scope or something mid of the sprint. If you change, it is inadequate.
What is prod backlog refinement process for us?
Yes, a refinement in the review.
Mhm.
You in the process is in the retrospective. In the retrospective, we gather the information.
Uh-huh.
Actually, the review is the place where we can change anything according to client desire.
Okay. Let me tell you
And
for everyone.
refine is in the retrospective.
Yes, you're right. Refinement is in the retrospective, but think you are confused. You are getting confused between retrospective and review. In sprint
Okay.
review meeting, you demo the product, what you have done so far, whatever you have worked upon, you show it to the customer or the product owner. Okay, what you have worked upon, you show it to them. Either they reject it or accept it. Okay, if they accept it, it will go to the product increment.
Increment.
If they reject it, then it will go
It goes
back to
back to
the
backlog.
product backlog.
Right,
Okay,
right.
this is the moment, this is the event, this is the meeting wherein you will add the product owner. He can add the more user stories. He can add more user stories in it or delete few, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, that is called product backlog refinement process.
Okay.
Product grooming or backlog
Yes.
refinement process.
Mm-hmm.
Grooming is refinement process. Okay,
Okay.
clear?
Okay.
Khan sir?
So what is the answer of this question?
No, your answer is right. Option D. But you were getting confused between retrospective. Retrospective is the lessons learned meeting after review, sprint review, wherein you discuss
Okay.
what you have done, how could you have done differently, and what is it you are gonna do in the next upcoming sprint. It is just a
Okay, I
lessons
got
learned
it.
meeting and it is an internal meeting.
So,
Okay,
boss,
thank you.
Mohit sir, refinement is something which is after it's done in product
Before retrospective, refinement or is done in the sprint review meeting. Okay, this
sprint
is
review.
yes, because what is the problem says it is the requirements are changing in between, in the middle of the sprint, and frequently it is being done. So ideally, it should have been done in the sprint review meeting, right? Because that is the time when you keep on you change the requirements. Ideally, it should be done in that particular time, not in the middle of the sprint when everything is decided.
Boss, I just need to understand the chronology. The product increment, if definition of done is there, we check it internally
Cause
and we
Khan Sahib, you are getting confused between definition of done. I'm not talking about that. Okay.
Okay. No,
We'll
my
all,
question is that
hmm.
because maybe this word can confuse me further. What is backlog refinement process? I need to understand that.
That is what I
Yes.
said. The backlog refinement process is done in the sprint review meeting. Okay. When the customer or the and the product owner, they change their requirement, they add more features or delete few. Okay. That is the product refinement process or the backlog grooming session. It is an 8-hour long meeting actually. Okay. When you have this. Clear? Okay. Yes. This is back. The correct answer is D, which is says multiple symptoms like mid sprint changes, velocity drop, okay, wrong output, unclear DOD, which is definition of done, point to root cause. Inadequate backlog refinement stories are entering sprint planning before they are well defined, leading to mid sprint clarification, rework, and misaligned delivery. Definition of done clarity sees a contributing factor, but a symptom of the same upstream failure. Product backlog refinement is the process that prevents all these issues. It is the PM's and the Scrum Master's responsibility to ensure it happens adequately. Okay, which is done in the sprint review meeting. Okay, that is it. This calls the end of this session, and I'll just stop recording.